Hello everyone, I am back with part 2, and I left off with the happy part of my list here, and I just wanted to add to my little list of hobbies is also makeup and nails. So yeah, as long as you budget your money towards your hobbies, and if you have as many as I do, then you can you'll have to be very good at budgeting to get all that stuff because it gets expensive. Yeah. Anyways, that's that, and the traditional part of me is mostly being a wife and a mother is where my traditional part of me comes out. I don't believe in the it takes a village to raise a child. I believe in the old-fashioned mama and daddy thing. There are situations where not all children have a mother and a father, but whoever the parent is, it's regardless of whoever the parent is, it's the parent's job, not everybody else's. So I don't like when people butt in and give me their so-called loving opinions about how I should go about raising my children. Because when it comes down to it, and you're out in public, or your kids are old enough to be out in public alone, who do you think people are going to judge when it comes to the way your children behave? They're not going to say, oh, well, it was their mother's friend, or it was it was society's fault, or whatever, that these kids are misbehaved. No, they're going to say, where's their mother? Where's their father? Where's their parent? The first one that is to blame is the parents, and usually the mother, because the mother's usually the one that deals with all the kids' stuff, And on top of that, I don't want just some crazy person that can't even take care of themselves try to teach my kids anything. I mean, seriously, you view these other people's lives as if you were outside looking in, kind of thing. And do you really want these people teaching your children stuff? Or disciplining your children? Or you accepting their advice as truth and using it with your children? I mean, seriously, look at the people that are around you, that are around your children, because I am a traditional person. I don't believe in that. Yeah, that's the mother part. The wife part is that I am married, and I expect people to understand that my husband is the man of the house, and he is the one that makes the final decision of anything of major importance, like, over our house, over our vehicles and stuff like that, And over the children and even over myself. You know, I trust my husband. He's a good, godly man that is here that is with me to love and respect and honor and treat me as his loving wife. So he does have final decision on what I do or don't do, what my children do or don't do. And I am very clear with people that are around us that is his place, and you will respect that. Of course, there is times when I kind of do things to kind of just poking fun at my husband, because he doesn't like me saying too much of that kind of stuff in public, because he doesn't want people to think that, oh wow, what kind of man are you? You have restrictions on your wife or something. He doesn't want people to think that he's a bad husband or something. And I always mess with him when we go out to eat. The waiters will ask me what I want. For some reason, when we go out to eat, the waiters continue to address me about what the kids want to eat, what I want to eat, and I don't answer him or her. I look at my husband and I tell my husband what I want, and he tells them. And I make it clear to them that you will address my husband and not me. Do you see that there is a man sitting at this table? Well, then you need to speak to him and not me. And that makes my husband so uncomfortable. It's really, really funny. And he knows that I'm just poking fun at him. So he's like, oh, I can't believe you did that again. But it's really funny. But there are times where I use that to my advantage too. If I go take my car to get worked on or something, like oil change or something, they'll ask me what I need, and I'll tell them that, and then they'll, in order for them to understand that that's all I'm going to get done right now, so don't come trying to tell me that the car needs this or that, I will tell them I am just following orders. My husband said this needs to be done, and I said, yes, okay, and I'm following orders, and here's the keys to my car. So that keeps them, when I say things like that, that keeps them from trying to sell me any other services. So, yeah, I have fun with it, but it is the way I do truly believe that it needs to be done. And I believe that if you need to say something to your husband, it should be done in private between the two of you. Because a lot of times with the women that I've seen mistreat their husbands, they don't do it because it's like, they do it to make a show. And all that does is tear him down. And if you really love him, you wouldn't do things that would tear him down. So, so that goes with me being traditional. It also goes very well with me not being a feminist. I am so far from being a feminist. But the funny thing is that older women come to me and have spoken around me or to me in a very feminist view, and I try to pretend they're not doing that, and if they need advice, I'll give them advice. But yeah, I went to a women's convention type church thing with my cousin a while back, and the teaching or whatever the thing they were doing that night was making a point using fairy tales, the princesses and fairy tales, making a point that, you know, we just expect things because we want to be like the princesses in the fairy tales, you know, something to that degree. And before that was made clear, all the older ladies were started just going off about men, like men hating like words and stuff, and I was like, oh wow, I don't need to be here. And it was so funny because my cousin, when we left there, I didn't want to be rude to my cousin because she invited me, and she was invited by someone else, so I didn't want to be rude to that person either. So I sat there until it was over, and when we left, she just laughed and said, "Oh, I knew as soon as those words started coming up, I saw the look on your face and I knew you were done." So yeah, that it's just really uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't believe that any woman should put up with any kind of abuse from a man. I think if a man is being abusive, then you need to get the heck out of there. You know, there's no reason for you to be sitting there putting up with crap like that. But when it comes to like the workplace or something like that, I believe it's your right as a person to be treated fairly because you're doing the job that everyone else is doing. So you should be treated with respect. You should be treated fairly. You should be paid fairly. I do think that in certain places that a woman does need to be treated different from a man, as in if there's some hardcore labor thing that needs to be done and there's two big old dudes sitting there, you're pretty dumb to turn around and tell a woman to do it. You know, seriously, what do you think the man is for? You know, even in scripture, God made it clear that the man will till the earth. So get his butt up to do it. You know what I mean? So in those parts, it's not feminist, it's common sense. You have some hardcore labor, you don't get a lady to do it. You get those dudes that are sitting on their butts to do it. You know, that's what they're for. That's why God gave them the bodies that they have. Rude and lying. I'm not gonna say I never ever lie, because then that would be a lie. But I don't go out of my way to try to make up story or cover my butt, you know, I try to take my faults where they are, my blames, and me being rude. I try to keep my mouth closed and only open it when I see that it's fit to be opened. I think there's just way too many people that are just straight up rude and say, "Oh, well, that's just the way I am. I voice my opinion at all times." Yeah, that's them being rude. And I try not to do that. And I try to teach my children, and my husband tries not to do that, and we try to teach our children not to be that way either. So that is it for this video, a part 2, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.